To another session of the Deal Lab. Today, we are actually traveling over to the Treasure Coast of Florida. You might not have heard of it yet. It is the newest up and coming short term rental market that we're seeing some huge opportunities show up in. Lance Wolfe is our savvy STR agent that covers the Treasure Coast. So he's here to actually walk us through this time a deal that is available for sale right now. And he's going to walk us through what makes the Treasure Coast, specifically today, we're in Melbourne Beach, and what makes it a great place to invest, as well as some details about what an available property looks like. What are you going to be spending? What kind of returns can you expect? Things to know about Treasure Coast. So make sure you drop a comment, ask us your questions about the Treasure Coast as we go through this. And Lance, you're going to share a little bit about a really killer property today, right?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. I know
Yep.
you have some photos to show us and walk us through a little bit of that. So feel free to take it away.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first off, like you said, where's the Treasure Coast? Get that a lot when I'm talking to people. Basically, I service from Jupiter area all the way up to Satellite Beach, which is kind of in the Space Coast. So three kind of different markets. You got down south of Jupiter, which is like the luxury, the more city vibe, boating, and then as you kind of come north, you get hit with these small, cute, quaint fishing villages where it's family getaways. You know, it's not all over Instagram with these parties and everything. It's just a quiet getaway. Lots of returning families. And then once you hit Melbourne area, it turns into more of the typical Florida beach town where there's lots of residential homes on the island. So you can get a lot of that beach vibe, but also jump across the causeway to historic downtown. So that's my market in a nutshell. Let me go over this property, which is in Melbourne Beach, which is on the northern side of my area here. So let's see. Let me know when you can see the
Yep,
house.
I've got it live right here.
Got it. Okay, so let's go back to the front here. So this is Melbourne Beach, Florida. Like I said, this is a gigantic 8 bed, 8 bath, 4,653 square feet. To even find an 8 bed, 8 bath, probably anywhere, especially in Florida, for 1.3 is a good deal just in itself. Let me switch. I'm switching to map. Let me know if that when that
Yes.
changes. If it did. Okay, so here's where we are. So this is the town of Melbourne. You're on the barrier island here on the southern edge, in the Atlantic, and then up to Satellite Beach. So just in this kind of area here, you've got just Patrick Space Force. So you get guests coming there to visit family. Just north of that, you have Coco with all the space launches. Orlando's like an hour and 15 minutes away. The Brevard Zoo, which is one of the best zoos in the state, is in this area too. And then you have Melbourne Airport, which has just recently turned into an international airport. So that's kind of a huge draw for that area there. But so back to the house. Very cute, very modern. It was built in 2021, so it's not very old. And they built this community for short-term rentals in the Melbourne Beach area, Satellite Beach in the Atlantic. They are very restrictive up there with short-term rentals. So this is a community just to avoid that. So it's a community of STRs. You can see cabin or condos in the back here. That's part of it. Those are oceanside. There's condos on the other side, which is riverside. So this whole complex is between the ocean and the river, which is awesome. But you have your own pool. It is a separate heated hot tub, so that's a nice draw. One thing I had asked the listing agent if you could add privacy. You can not necessarily build an 8 foot tall fence, but you can get some like planters, get some taller plants just to kind of give some privacy here.
Nice.
Throw like a red light sauna on the back. And these are just
100%.
ideas I mentioned because no one else in this community is doing it. And in a community full of STRs, you have to do stuff like this to get it to be the number one. So designed with short-term rentals in mind. It is completely fully furnished, silverware, plates, everything. Um, Lots of design work done here. Very, very modern, beachy.
Tile floors, so it's easy to clean up the sand. That's a
Yep.
must.
Tile floors on the bottom. The upstairs bedrooms have carpet, but that's a easy change if you want. Just a cool little poker room, and then it actually has a theater.
Very nice. Well designed.
Yeah, it is very well designed. There's definitely not much you're going to have to do coming in here. Just maybe a little splash of color in these bedrooms and just a
Yeah.
pillow or blanket just to kind of liven it up a little bit.
Yeah, and the furniture doesn't look like cheap, broken down
Yep,
furniture. It looks pretty solid.
it is. It is very. Let's see. And then this is huge. This is the kids' room. It's like a NASA inspired bunk bed with a slide. Really
Super
cool,
cute.
fun little place in here. More bedrooms. Like I love what they did with just all of all the accent walls or main walls behind the beds have something, either wallpaper or actual texture design, or at least painted. So again, color added. That's about it. This is a cool little, Dior themed room for
Is there
kids
a lot
or
of high-end
girls.
shopping nearby?
Just up the street in Melbourne, yes. Yeah, there's cute little beach town shopping, and then if you go across the causeway into downtown Melbourne, you'll have more of that feel.
Yeah, 8 bedrooms is no joke.
Yeah. And then there's also a little arcade in here, kind of in some common area. There's plenty of room to add some more things. And then this is part of the community. The HOA fees and everything do include this if you wanted to walk over, relax by the pool, since the backyards on the house itself is a little smaller. So come over here in the corner, there's a little workout room. All this is included for your guest. I'm not sure if they have a photo. Not in this one, but there's a marina over here as well. They have not decided if you can keep your own boat there, but they don't have trailer storage. So, that's something that had to kind of find a self-storage place to store something for the week if you're wanting to bring your own boat. But they are in talks with a local boat rental company to house boats there. So it'd be a real quick, hop on the boat for whatever, a couple $100 for the day, and then just return it and go on about your vacation.
Nice. So, I mean, you're looking at a ton of benefits with this property from what I can see. Is number one, it's turnkey, which is super rare. It's really
Super
rare to find something that you can actually buy and put on Airbnb tomorrow after the day after you
Wow.
close and start
Absolutely.
getting bookings.
Yep.
Um, Having a private pool, I do hear sometimes people have complaints or issues with the only pool access being the shared community pool, but this one gives you both options.
Both.
So, yes, this one's a little bit smaller. Maybe the kids can't quite stretch their legs and jump in the way they want to, but you already have the community pool for that. So, you have those benefits. There's still some room to add a few features to really stand out, which I know is a concern in an STR community, that there's a little bit of an increase in that density of competition. But at the same time, when you're talking about regulations, markets that are clamping down, we've seen it all over the country at this point. You are instilling a safety net for yourself in never having to worry about that regulation coming in.
Absolutely. Yeah. The whole community is just zoned for this. It's all multifamily, which when you look at the rules in Melbourne Beach, it's like it has to be multifamily if it can be east of A1A. But if it can't touch a single family residence. It could be west of A1A, but it has to touch A1A and also not have touching lines with another single family. So it's like, okay, there's like 3 homes in that entire stretch that you can do that, to where this community has done that.
Yeah.
And then it's so unique up there in Melbourne and the whole Hutchinson Island. Like, this whole community is pretty much from ocean to river. So you can walk all the way. And this house, actually, the picture I have it on, where those condos are in the background, the
Hmm.
ocean's on the other side of that. So you
So it's
walk
super
out,
close.
go 2 houses down, walk maybe, 2 blocks down A1A, and then there's a crosswalk to get over to the beach over there, that is also part of the HOA, that has like a bathroom and little showers over there, which is for, guests to use as well.
Yeah. So what are you thinking, like, when you look at something like this, it probably has some proven financials, but obviously that might not always be accurate to what it's capable of. What are you looking at with the numbers for revenue
So this house in 2005 made 204K.
in
It is,
2025?
yeah, sorry, what did I say?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think I
last
heard
year.
2005.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, no, no. Yeah, last year it made 204,000 on it. It is now, I don't know everything about the property management company, but just from what I've kind of looked, they're not really taking huge advantage of revenue management. I looked to book like tomorrow, and it was like $2,500 a night. I looked in July, and it was $2,500 a night.
Ah,
So just doing little things, make it 1,400. Get a booking. Um, they do have a direct booking site, which they do um, dynamic pricing there. Like, I could book it
hmm,
tomorrow for like $700, but not using the OTAs, the Airbnb and VRBO, and just cutting price 20%, get booked there. You're losing out on a lot of revenue.
yeah.
Um,
So
and
just
just
that simple change alone, starting revenue management day one.
Yep. And that was one of the things I was kind of going with as I walk through these, of adding things.
Hmm.
There is another 8-8 in this community that I've been talking to that agent about as well. It doesn't have a themed room. It doesn't have a theater. It doesn't have an arcade. So it's just 8 beds, 8 baths, very lightly designed. And it did 125 last
Yeah.
year. So, I mean, almost half. And this
Yeah.
thing, just because of those added features. So, add some revenue management, do some great marketing, add, the red light sauna. You could there's already a lanai there, so I don't know if like a pergola in the back would really add that much. And then just some colorful designs on the inside. Most of the Airbnb photos are like this, what you see. They're just kind of real estate
Hmm.
photos, not 100% STR minded photographer taking these things with some sunset pictures that really make it pop in the listing. And I think you're hitting 250 on this place, and the sky's the limit, because there's 5 8 bedrooms home in Brevard County, that's on the island, and this is a stone's throw from the beach. So
Crazy. Yeah.
definitely a great
There's
price.
just so much good to it. I mean, the changes are simple. If you want to stand out a little bit more and push that revenue, the changes are small. And a lot of times when we're looking at properties, especially if it's an 8 bedroom and it's 4,600 square feet, that's a huge budget to renovate, to
Oh,
design, to furnish. And you're saving yourself all of that on this property, but not really sacrificing the revenue, because there's still some opportunity there with revenue management and small changes. And you've got
mhm,
that built-in insulation on protection from regulations, and also the built-in insulation of being a top property, because there's so few to compete with at this size in this
right.
location.
Yep. And it already is. Like, this house is number 3 on AirDNA for revenue. And AirDNA says its potential is 336
Mm.
for its high potential. So huge potential here. If I hadn't just bought a house, I'd be buying this thing.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
crazy.
I mean, like I said, just, 4 or 5 more card games and a foosball table over here where we're standing. Red light sauna on the back, colors here and there.
Hmm.
I mean, what are we talking? 10 grand max
Right.
to put in this, you know? I mean, and then, okay, maybe we can't go live tomorrow, but we can go live Monday.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, this is
so
a killer deal. I can't wait for a savvy investor to pick this up because I just know that it's a winner. Anytime you have good built-in financials, with some opportunity to increase, you know that it's going to be a slam dunk. And I just don't think you can beat this price. I mean, how often do you get this close to the beach and this size of a house for this price?
yep,
I
and
don't know that
still
I've
kind
seen
of
it.
be in a resort, if you wanna call it that.
Hmm.
You know, you're going through the gate and you don't really have to leave if you don't want, you know, you can hang out by the pool, get on a boat, or just walk across the street and enjoy the beach. And then also, you know, all the drivers I talked about in the beginning, you're, you know, an hour or less away from some major attractions and you know
Right.
watching a rocket launch from this house or just walking over to the beach to watch a rocket launch, it's a
Mm.
big draw for this area. So
So cool. Yeah, and I think there's been so much talk about people are looking for new places to go to that maybe
mhm.
are different from that kind of traditional crazy, vacationer vibe, the spring break vibe. People are looking for good family vacations that are a little quieter, a little more relaxed, the shopping, the resort, the walks along the river, things like that. So it's one of those things, I mean, you just have to see the opportunity that's in front of you before everybody else does.
Yeah, yeah, and you know a lot of people go to the mountains for the quiet getaway and family reconnect, but you know stuff like in my area you can do that at the beach and it's, you know, 75 degrees right now. And you can, you know, you don't have to go up into the mountains to get away and reset. You can come to
Mhm.
the east coast of Florida where I am and do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sure the entire Northeast right now is thinking, "It's about time to book somewhere on the beach."
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Lance, how can people get in touch with you if they have questions about investing in the Treasure Coast?
Yeah, you can let's see, where's my you can follow me on Facebook. Um I wasn't ready to put these links or anything in.
I want to make sure people can reach out to you directly. We have our comments here for
Let
people
me
to leave with
stop
us,
share.
and we will definitely follow up with you. But
Okay.
if you want to talk specifically to Lance, you can reach him on Facebook. His name is right here, Lance Wolfe. That's Wolfe. And we also have savvy.realty/Lance Wolfe. So you can visit our Meet the Team webpage to book a time or grab his phone number and reach out directly, because Treasure Coast, like I said, it sounds like the next best kept secret, but it won't stay secret for long. I've
Yeah,
heard
yeah, when you
of some big investors starting to move their money into that market.
yeah, and when you look at a lot of these submarkets that I'm in, everything's green, trending up, ADRs are going up, listings are going up, and it's full of just under-designed,
Hmm.
undermanaged properties. So that's a
Yeah,
big draw right there. You top 3 properties are crushing it, and then it's well below average past that. So the come into the middle high end and you would do really well.
absolutely. Yeah, love it. Okay, thank you so much for sharing with us today, Lance. Anything else you want to say before we close it out?
No, I don't think so. I think it's good.
Okay. Thank you so much. Again, reach out directly to Lance so you can find out how to pick up a property in the Treasure Coast, and be in on the next best secret. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.